United States, and did it have any impact on your opinions? Did it change the way you looked at things?
As far as the issue over there, no. The only thing that made me think more is that this uneven-handed policy that's going, the blind support of Israel, just makes me more and more determined and angry to let people know exactly what's going on. The average American, who is a very kind-hearted, nice person, is unaware of what's going over there. They believe what the media feeds them. If the president says so and so, then that's the Bible, that's the gospel for them, and they take it. If Fox and CBS News tells you this is what happened, this is what happened. You can hear about a rocket being thrown from Gaza to Israel 200 times on the news, while 100 Palestinians being killed. It will be a subtitle somewhere in the news. And this is what we see. And I think it's time for the Americans know, and let the Congress know, so that they will be more effective in dictating the policy that's going in the Middle East.
My family is from Egypt and Libya, so the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is always, it's like a big part of daily discussion, especially when I go over there, discussion and such. The majority of my exposure to this conflict has been throughout the news. My family likes to stay in the Times, I guess, with a lot of news, and I've gone to different talks at my local mosque, and then a couple talks in Charlotte about the Arab-Israeli conflict. Both of my parents are very well informed in a lot of the issues that are going on. They follow the news online, and they also follow it on different television channels. Other than that, I've tried to take some initiative in learning about it on my own.
When I first started looking into it, I really supported the two-state solution. Had heard very little arguments for the one-state solution until more recently. I think the whole entire background of the conflict has been characterized by kind of missed opportunities for peace and for negotiation. And so unfortunately, while the two-state solution would obviously be preferable and is still would be my first choice for the region, I think that it's becoming increasingly more difficult to have a two-state solution. And I think that right now, instead of focusing so much on verbalizing the need for a two-state solution, that American policy, Israeli policy, and Palestinian policies should be focusing more on rebuilding civil society, for reconciliation between Fatah and Hamas, should be focusing more on building actually a consolidated, credible Palestinian leadership that can actually speak for the Palestinian people, and to even start better negotiations between all three parties, as opposed to specifically advocating for a two-state solution. Because at this point right now, there's very little trust on either side, and you can't have the negotiations for two states if there's so much mistrust, so much resentment on the two sides. I think there was times when a two-state solution would have been more viable, but right now, I think it's going to be a while. I think the emphasis right now should be on having an armistice to better build the institutions and discussions, and building up the economy of the Palestinian territories, as opposed to, I think it's going to be a while. I think that
I personally feel that the first step needs to be the recognition of a Palestinian state, and that necessarily turning both of them into one state is not going to facilitate enough actual change, but just that the Palestinian territories need to be recognized as their own state, independent of Israel, rather than trying to put them together, when I feel like that would just be too much too quick.
I believe in the two-state solution. I think it's going to be pretty difficult, because I don't think that you can have two separate Palestinian states where Gaza and the West Bank aren't connected, and you have to have a road in between. I don't think that would necessarily work, so I don't know what the solution should be, but I think a two-state solution would be closer to what we need than one state.
I do support a two-nation, agreement, having separate countries, Palestine and Israel, just because, I don't know, there's so many, just, all the changes and conflicts that have gone on, a lot of them are irreversible, and it would just be, logistically, it'd be better to have a two-country, turnout. But that's not to say that they can't coexist, and I think the best way for them to coexist is to have democracy. I heard a lot.
We love, as Palestinians, to have one-state solution. However, Israel will not, and they have several reasons for that. One, the Arabs will be more than the Israelis, and if you're going to have a democratic, government in there, then you're going to have elections and all that stuff, and that's not in the interest of Israel. No problem.
So, is problems Israel has?
Yeah, well, we're talking about that. It's not in the interest of the Israelis to have it. Most of the Palestinians, especially the Muslims, will tend to have 4, 5, 6 children, while the Israelis are usually, or the Jews have usually 1 or 2. And so 20 years down the line, you're going to have, practically, the Palestinians being more than double than the. And the third thing is that Israel wants Israel to be a Jewish state. And that is against what the Palestinians want. If you want it to Palestine, you want to call it Israel, you want whatever you want to call it, it has to be a democratic state for everybody, whether it is Christian, Muslim, or Jews, or whoever it is, but not a Jewish state as they want it.
I'm more likely to favor the one-state solution, mainly because, like I said earlier, the two peoples occupying this piece of land are extremely connected. They're so similar. Judaism and Islam are two extremely similar religions, and Israel and Palestine share very similar cultural aspects. And I feel that over the years, with Israel being a state and in the close proximity to the Gaza Strip and the West Bank, people have just come to be so connected, not necessarily in a positive way, but in a way it's going to be so hard to break. If you wanted to do the two-state solution, how would you divide settlements where there are more Israelis in a Palestinian area than Palestinians? That would be really difficult. I mean, you look at a map today, and the map of Israel looks like Swiss cheese, and that's no way to create two states. It's not fair to either people to separate their land like that, and a one-state solution would be extremely difficult because of Israel's nature as a desire to be a Jewish state, which is completely understandable because Jewish people have gone through so much, and they want to have their own stability, and they want to be able to take care of themselves, I completely respect that fact. But I also see that this land holds extreme importance for the Palestinians who have lived there for so long, and it's also a holy place for Muslims, maybe not in the same way as it is for Jews, but I feel that the one-state system, with a lot of work, could bring these people together and keep them connected in a way that's positive and builds foundations for an even richer area, because Israel and Palestine are two completely rich cultures that are just so poorly understood right now, and I feel that a one-state system would show that differences can be united, and it can be resolved. And I feel like